Please note that every page is created with blocks, which are made of columns and rows. A column can be split into multiple columns by simply clicking on a column within the block, and then right here the column will appear. Click here, and this will allow you to split the content into a number of different columns. Now this has 3 different columns: column 1, column 2, and column 3. The handles here can be used to change the size of the column itself. You can have every column with a different background or image. And you can also always add spacers or headers, text, buttons, etc. into the columns if you'd like to stretch them out a bit. Simply drag the little handle and pull it down, and that will enable you to create more space within this column. If we wanted to change the column settings here, we could add an image as a background. And then within each column as well, you can you can add a gradient, an overlay, for example, just like this. You can also go into the column settings, and here's where you can change your border to a different color. You can change the size and the radius. I guess we were covering that up, so let's take a look here. So now we have a column that has a rounded radius and a thicker colored border. So you can do this with any of your different columns. If you're going to be adding text, you would simply do that here. And then you can change up your colors and your fonts of your text, just like this. Oh, I had not highlighted it. Okay, now I'm going to change this. And you'll note that the text itself can be adjusted independently than the column, from the column itself. So we can make this column wider, but we can also adjust just the text by grabbing the text handle and making the sizing for that different. If we wanted to, we could go into here and edit it. We could align this into the center of this space. And we can also always add spacers if we need them along the top or the bottom or the side here of any area. So again, this spacer can be adjusted as needed. You can adjust the text, you can adjust the spacers, you can adjust images that are put into the column as well. Adjust the size of the column just like that. And that's what you would do. If you wanted to add another row within this block, you can add another row by simply clicking here. And now I have another row. This row has 1 column currently. However, I can also adjust the columns within this row I just added, and now I would have 2 columns. So again, I would have 1 here and 1 here. Same thing, I can do different backgrounds, I could add images, etc. to this particular column. I can add any widgets inside of it, and I can adjust the spacing like so. Again, if you wanted to move things down, again, the handles on the top would be how you would move something down within a column. And you can move an entire column by pulling this down or adding a spacer. To here, and we're just going to drag this down, and that just changed the spacing in there. I guess I was trying to show how we would add another row. Another row. I'm going to move this row down with the arrows, and now this row right here is in between this 2-column row. There's a single column row and a tri-column row, all within 1 block. And the block settings would be here. This block happens to be a boxed block. It can also be set as a full width block. And go back to boxed. And the settings for this block itself, again, the background image, the background color, if you would like it to be parallax or not, to have the images scroll, text scroll over the background image, I should say. The background positioning, gradients, shape dividers, adding this as an anchor point for any navigation you might want to do. That would be all of the settings for the block.